All right, we don't.
Man, these things are filling quick.
Yeah.
We joined in it. We already at the third pick.
Yeah, nah, these drafts on Underdog right now are filling immediately. So if you're a degenerate best ball player, I would advise getting in Underdog's new tournament, which we are in right now, $5. So solid price point for players, especially if you don't want to put a large portion of money into best ball. This is a great tournament. 50K to first too, so pretty big first place prize, and I mean the action is great. So I think you're gonna be seeing us in these Underdog streets a lot.
Yeah, no, it's looking really good. So yeah, you said $5, 50K to first, and this contest, just came up a couple hours ago. It's already 2.5% filled.
Yeah, people are hammering this. That's why the drafts are filling immediately. And I did a draft earlier, and it was probably the best draft that I've ever been in. I wish I could show the draft board. I can't, but it is what it is. I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill here. Don't have many shares of Tyreek, so take him here at 109 and try and get a running back on the turn.
I do see that your clock is still messed up on Underdog.
My clock is messed up, which might throw some of the viewers off. So if you're watching, my clock, if you see, is messed up. You're only supposed to get 30 seconds. It says, what, like 45?
Yeah, it's actually messed up on this person's too. They're giving you an extra 20 seconds on every pick. Like this, they're about to time out right now. That was an auto pick on my screen.
Okay.
So it's giving you 50 seconds, and it's actually 30.
It's actually 30.
Definitely got to reach out to UD about that.
Yeah, I mean, mine's always been messed up though. For some reason, I truly don't know why, but just so the viewers know, this is wrong. So just don't pay attention to the clock if you're watching the stream. Got to get that fixed somehow. But yeah, I mean, my draft earlier was great. Drafted a monster, and you gotta learn just roster construction if you're playing best ball, because some of those teams that I saw drafted, they left me speechless.
I took a look at a couple of them. I saw one where the dude drafted George Kittle and then proceeded to draft 4 more tight ends.
Yeah,
man's had the 5 tight end build with Kittle up top.
Yep, and then he combined that too with drafting 4 quarterbacks.
The classic 4-3.
Yeah, the classic 4-3 build. All right, so kind of debating here between Antonio Gibson and a wide receiver. I'm going to go a different route. I don't have many shares of Gibson, so I'm going to take him right there at pick 16, so right at his ADP. So I'm kind of following it in line right now.
Not bad. So started off with Gibson and Hill. That's definitely a solid start.
The thing when you draft Tyreek is you kind of feel compelled to either reach on Mahomes or prioritize drafting Mahomes, which I think could hurt the overall upside of your team if you have to reach 10 or 8 picks to get him, especially if you're sacrificing like a wide receiver one at that spot coming, and it'll be the third round when it happens. But I don't know if I'm gonna try and reach for the stack here. We'll have to wait and see.
So I'm going to go with Adams right at ADP here. All
That's
three of these receivers, Adams, Ridley, and Hopkins, are going right at about pick 18, which is what I just had. So, I'm fine with that. Just upping my Adams exposure as things look more and more like Rodgers is going to just ultimately play with the Packers. And if that's the case, Adams is a value in the mid-second round.
Yeah, I mean, if we get news of Rodgers returning to Green Bay, he'll probably go back to being that fringe first round, second round pick, probably be taken at the turn. So if you can get him in the mid to late second round right now, I would take that value all day on a player that we know can score a lot of touchdowns, especially in this underdog format where touchdowns are weighed pretty heavily, I would say, in half PPR. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I like this. I like this tournament, man. $5, $50K up top. What do we got? We got 150 max, only 56,000 for a field. So it's not like a massive field, but big money up top. You could bank up to what we got, $1,000 plus in the top 10. Second place is 25K, third place is 15K. We've been doing these drafters drafts, and all top three spots here are paying more than the first place on the drafters tournament. So
yeah,
I do like that. And the playoff format's fun too. I think it rewards stacking, which is, God, I'm addicted to stacking.
yeah. I think the playoff format helps players that are willing to go the extra step in terms of research and analysis, because I think people aren't correlating their lineups enough for the playoff weeks. And that's kind of something that I want to start focusing on. And I did it in my last draft because I drafted Trey Lance and Matt Ryan. And the Niners and the Falcons play in the first week of the playoffs. So I just wanted that correlation, even though it is quarterbacks. And I ended up drafting Ayuk and Zacchaeus, so I got the correlation there as well with those guys in their stack. So that's just something that I definitely want to start focusing on for sure. But right here, I mean, yeah, DeAndre Swift. I got my option of either CD or Amari. I love both. I think both are great and will be great fantasy players. But I don't know. I think I'll target the rookie that they drafted high, or in the first round, high upside guy, CeeDee Lamb. But I love Amari Cooper too.
Sophomore at this point.
Sophomore, yeah. I'm saying they drafted him in the first round last year.
Right, yeah, and I agree. I mean, Lamb had an excellent season as a rookie, especially considering he only had Dak for however many games.
Yep. So. Love CD, love Amari Cooper. I think the Cowboy stack is one of the best stacks on the board in 2021, and it's really affordable as well because you can get CD, Amari Cooper, third, fourth round, come back, get Dak in the sixth, and if you want to sprinkle in Michael Gallup in the seventh, he's a pretty nice option. So love that.
Yeah. One of the other things that I would encourage people who are doing these drafts to do, especially on Underdog and DraftKings with the playoffs, is look at the teams who have 2 home games out of the 3 playoff weeks. That's something that I've been taking a look at. There's a handful of teams that are going to get double home games, and it's hard to predict who's going to be the favorites, who are going to be the teams with high projected team totals, but we know them more likely than not it'll be the teams who are playing at home. And you look at some of the most highest powered offenses in the league, and those are some of those teams: Tennessee, the Chargers, Baltimore, San Francisco, Indy, Buffalo, like Dallas. These are teams that get 2 home games in weeks 15 through 17 when all the money is going to be made in this tournament. So something to be cognizant of, and some sleeper teams as well, like New England, Cincinnati, Green Bay, Chicago.
Yeah, definitely something to keep in mind. And I'm pretty sure that dude just got auto-picked, and that's tough because I would have taken Mahomes right there, who went at pick 39, so a couple of picks past ADP. It is what it is, though. I guess I can't stack Mahomes with Tyreek. So I'm going to go with a wide receiver here. I have my choice of Woods, Godwin, or DJ Moore. And I don't know. I'm starting to come around to DJ Moore this season, so I'm gonna take DJ Moore as my wide receiver 3 here.
I like it. Yeah, I like that for sure.
I'm just staying away from like these running backs, Miles Sanders, David Montgomery, Josh Jacobs. I'm just totally fine with skipping out on the running backs in this range and just targeting these high upside wide receivers to fill out my team because on most weeks you are going to start 4 wide receivers.
Yeah, I like Miles Sanders at this value, but he goes right in front of me at 4.5. So luckily, I don't have to make that decision. I won't be going Demon or Josh Jacobs here. So the decision of, do I venture out of the running back dead zone is made for me. And I'm going to just go with, one of my favorite picks in the 4th round. And it's going to be a Rams receiver. Either one I'm happy with. I'm pretty much spreading my exposure evenly between the two, but take a little Robert Woods here. Why not?
Yeah. God, I wish that dude didn't get auto drafted Mahomes, man. My team would be so fire with the Mahomes Hill stack. I really don't have any of that. That's a tough
Would have been a good price, but yeah,
Yeah.
he goes at ADP.
I would have got him a couple picks after ADP, which is a tough scene. And with the Chiefs, their playoff schedule is very favorable, I think. They're going to be in a lot of projected high-scoring games. Week 15, they play in Los Angeles against the Chargers. Week 16, they play at home against the Steelers. And then Week 17, in the finals, they play on the road in Cincinnati. So
Yeah.
if you want to target the Chiefs stack, you could correlate them with Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, the Steelers wide receivers, the Bengals wide receivers. There's a lot of pieces to correlate those guys with, and you'll be sitting pretty if your team makes it out of the regular season.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely something that we got to focus on is the correlation of these teams. I think that a fraction of people who are, in these drafts are even thinking about that kind of thing.
And, that's just taking something that we do from DFS and applying it to this. Like when we're playing in those large field GPPs, that's like the number one thing that everybody preaches is just correlation. Not really the players themselves, like obviously they're important, but correlating your lineups, trying to predict certain outcomes, and nobody's doing that in this. They're just going through drafting players. Like it's fun. It's $5, which I get, it is fun, but if you want to give yourself an even bigger edge is look into things like that, especially if you're playing for first, like because nobody else is doing it. Nobody else is saying, "Oh, let me move T. Higgins up in the rankings because I drafted Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes, and they play in Week 17." Like nobody's thinking about that. Only degenerates are thinking about that. and
The
that's
degenerates are the
something.
one going to be sitting on top,
And that's something that I've been thinking about lately. Is how can I start correlating my lineups, and I think that is definitely one way to do it. So.
Right here, I'm going to get one of the few Kyle Pitts shares that I have, but in the 5th round going, I just got him 11 picks after ADP.
Yep,
I've got to get that exposure. I don't have much Pitts, but if he's in the 5th, can't say no to that.
That's a freaking solid pick, if I do say so myself.
Thank you, sir.
I would have drafted him if he didn't go.
It's hard to take a rookie tight end over Lamar Jackson in that spot, but Jackson goes right ahead. I was definitely looking at going Lamar there, but decision was made for me once again.
I think this is a pretty easy decision for me.
Yeah,
just with my team.
Yeah,
so.
For sure. Makes a lot of sense.
I just feel the need to always come out with one of these high upside quarterbacks because. Like, I know quarterback scoring is tight, but if you can get a player on a great offense such as Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Patrick Mahomes, I feel like just the edge is just so much better.
Yeah.
Because these are guys that can get you 35 every week. And if you wait, like, Tom Brady's not giving you 30 plus,
And if he is, it's happening like way less frequently.
Matt Stafford isn't giving you 35. Matt Ryan isn't Tua isn't, Kirk Cousins isn't, on a weekly basis, or at least has it in his range of outcomes every single week,
Hmm.
which I think these top quarterbacks do. So I always see myself, trying to target one of these guys. But right here, this is a spot where it's like I'm not really too high on any of these players. The wide receivers have started to slim down a little bit, and I have a solid three right here. So I could go with my fourth one here. I could go with Hawk or Mark Andrews here as my tight end one, and I'm not. Oh Jesus, this is tough. This is tough.
Beckham goes. This is really the point where we sort of passed the running back dead zone, and we have to start looking at these guys, Javonte Williams, who just goes in front of you, Kareem Hunt, Trey Sermon. I think they're pretty comparable picks to guys like Claypool, Sutton, Robbie. The tight ends in this range are still, in a tier above, I think.
Yeah, I really think Hawkinson or Mark Andrews is the pick.
Mm-hmm. That's the correct pick, in my opinion. When you look at the tier drop offs at the other positions, you're probably going to be able to get players in the same tiers coming back in the 7th round. And Andrews over Hawkinson makes a lot of sense to me in half PPR. I wouldn't be shocked to see Hawkinson catch more passes, but Andrews could finish with 3, 4, 5 more touchdowns than TJ Hawkinson this season.
Yeah, I don't know. I just would have Andrews ranked above Hawkinson too, like me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Just a better team, better offense, touchdown upside, and there's a legitimate case that he is the number one guy like in the passing game for the Ravens.
Absolutely.
He's shown it before that he is. I don't think Hollywood Brown is. Bateman might be that guy. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see about him. And we know Sammy Watkins isn't. So, like Mark Andrews, I'm starting to come around to him, especially after talking about tight ends with Todd
Yeah,
on our tight
absolutely.
end podcast, which you can go find on our podcast feed at the DFS Dose. And if you're watching this on YouTube, we put out another episode last week where we answered several important questions surrounding players in the NFL, such as Jameis Winston, Cam Newton, Mac Jones, etc. So if you want links in the description on the YouTube, go check out that podcast.
Yeah, we're close to hitting a couple of benchmarks, almost at 200 subscribers on the YouTube, almost at 1,000 followers on Twitter, and that'll be pretty dope. I think we'll hit it within the next week or so here.
Yep, and we're gonna do a giveaway, so make sure you look out for that. I know we got some people watching right now. We're gonna do 1,000 follower giveaway on Twitter, so
Yep.
make sure you look out for that.
Definitely, definitely. And if you guys are feeling this, the correlation concept, I would definitely recommend getting in our Discord channel. I mean, these days it's just all day, every day talking best ball with, some true degenerates. But I mean, these are sharp guys that are drafting daily. I'm learning a lot from our community members, and I think that they're taking away some good info as well.
Yep, yep. Make sure you join the Discord for sure. Can't wait for NFL DFS.
Oh
It's
God, I
gonna
know.
be a great time. Great time.
Is Justin Herbert going to fall to me right here? Absolutely not. He gets sniped as I open my stupid mouth. That's unfortunate. That's a tough scene. Absolute tough scene.
Dang, a lot of quarterbacks just went. Jalen Hurts went above Justin Herbert. I feel
Yeah,
like
that's
Justin
interesting.
Herbert has been falling recently.
Weird. I mean, I know that there was that story, like more of a non-story about some quote about how the offense is going to run through him. Like, yeah, no shit. But I mean, it seems like I mean, I'm really on board with the Justin Herbert continuing his greatness. At first, I wasn't sure. I was thinking touchdown regression, but I mean, all signs point to them just having another great year after a historic rookie season.
All right, let's see who this guy takes, who has gone 5 running backs and 1 tight end with his first 6 picks. Let's
No
see.
wide receivers, essentially a dead team having no wide receivers by the 7th round. Thanks for the donation, friend.
Takes his first wide receiver in Debo. And right here, I think it's a pretty simple pick for position wise. I have to take a wide receiver here, wide receiver 4. Now, the player specifically, I like Juju, I like LaVisca, I like Will Fuller. I'm going to go with Juju here.
I like it.
Don't
I
have
like it.
many shares of Juju, but I do like that he is probably the number 2 in that offense.
And
But
something we talked about on our last episode of the podcast, I think, goes to the pick that I made as well with Tyler Boyd, and it correlates to Juju. You know, we talked about both these teams, the Steelers and the Bengals, having just atrocious offensive lines, and potentially just these underneath options are going to be the ones that feast because, you know, Chase Claypool, you know, T. Higgins, they're going to be running these routes downfield, and the quarterbacks just aren't going to have the time to get it to them. But that shouldn't stop players like Juju and Tyler Boyd from just feasting on receptions and you know, in the 7th round, taking a wide receiver is the clear-cut optimal strategy. And it's just, I'm really coming around to these players that maybe early in the best ball season we thought as floor guys, but especially in a format like with playoffs, I mean, you need these players who are going to score points every single week, and these guys have the potential to do that.
Yep, and then Juju also correlates with Tyreek Hill because the Steelers and Chiefs, like I just mentioned, play in week 16, which is the semifinals. And if I'm expecting this team to work out, I'm expecting my team to make it that far. This is a correlation right here. Tyreek Hill, Juju Smith-Schuster, even though I don't have the quarterback in Mahomes since he got auto-drafted to somebody. So we'll look here. Antonio Brown. So I have pick 88 here. I could go with Will Fuller. That would make sense. I could go with J. Rob, Michael Carter. There's a lot of options for me here. So think I'm going to go with Will Fuller. Just get that, you know, that high ceiling guy. We just talked about it with Juju that, you know, some people may not consider him a high ceiling guy, more of a floor guy. Well, you know, I come back, I get Will Fuller a little bit past ADP, so I do get that ceiling wide receiver as my wide receiver 5. So it's all about mixing floor and ceiling with your teams and just making overall good picks. And I think Juju and Fuller there were the correct picks, and I was fortunate enough for Fuller to make it back to me. So,
well, this scumbag snipes me by taking his 6th running back in the 8th round, grabbing James Robinson. So you know, that's lit. Oh God, I don't know what to do here.
I'm telling you, dude, these teams, this is free money right now. At least
Seriously,
it's free, you know, free EV. Like it's not actual free money, but it is free money.
I'm gonna go ahead. Oh shit, I think I fucked up. Oh,
What's going on, brother?
I mean, it's not bad. It went from my queue, but I had my queue in the wrong order. So Stafford was a player I was looking at here. I mean, I've got the Stafford to Robert Woods stack. I don't hate it. It's above ADP, so it was a bit of a reach there, but yeah. Damn it.
Yeah, slight reach, Benny. Slight reach.
Tough scene. Absolute tough scene.
It's all right. You just gotta bounce back, bro. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, with Kyle Pitts as my tight end 1, I'll definitely just be going with 2 tight ends probably. You know, I could go 3 quarterbacks to make up for this, but maybe, you know, remains to be seen. Depends on who my QB2 is.
All right. 11 picks away. I think this would be a good time to look at some of these people's teams. All right. He's got Kyler, CMC, Edmonds, AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Pretty solid team out of
Solid.
That's my team. Okay. Let's look. Pretty solid. Who's the guy that has drafted every single running back in it?
Yeah, him.
This right here, this is burning money.
Yeah.
This is burning money. You can only start up to 3 running backs a week. And you take 6 in your first 8 picks. That's not optimal.
Far from it. Oh man, he better be taking wide receivers with damn near every pick in this draft going forward.
See some surprises here on the draft board. I have it up. Um, Kyle Pitts, I think, is probably one of the best picks so far. He fell to you. Solid value. Kyler Murray went in the fourth round. Josh Allen in the fourth round. Mahomes in the fourth round. So 3 fourth round quarterbacks. So I kind of had to take Dak there before he went. We could see here some running backs went off the board early. J.K. Dobbins mid third. That's an easy fade. DeAndre Swift is whatever. But all in all, this isn't as bad of a draft as I had in my first one. But there is still some mess ups, I would say, especially with this guy drafting every running back possible.
I mean, at the turn here, Tyler Higbee and Elijah Moore. I don't know about that at the 8-9 turn, to be honest with you. I do not know about that one, sir.
Hey, that's get your guy though.
Yeah,
Let's get your guy at all costs.
I guess so.
Ronald Jones, good pick. Good pick. I like it.
Good pick if you hate money.
A lot of Ronald Jones haters out there. You double dipping at QB?
Yeah, I am.
Double dipping? All right, Ben's team might be part of the rake.
Chill.
No cap.
Chill. I got my Rodgers to Adams stack, my Stafford to Woods stack. Just need them to hit in the right weeks.
I mean, this dude isn't taking James Conner, is he? Because that's who I'm taking.
Yeah, no, he's probably going to take Connor or Fournette. Got to get that RB7. You absolutely have to in this spot.
Yeah, I'm taking James Conner if he doesn't take. This is he? Okay, he took Fournette. 7 running backs. I think is he getting auto drafted? He must be on auto draft. This is an easy pick here. And I know we've been saying it. I don't know if the viewers were in here at the time, but correlation is going to be what wins you a best ball tournament, especially since everybody has access to the same information now. Best ball is becoming more and more popular. Everybody knows the strategies. Everybody knows the optimal roster builds. But like I mentioned earlier, if we take something away from DFS, it's that correlation above all, pretty much, especially in large field tournaments where, even in 150 entries, you're still unlikely to win. And we just know that the playoff weeks are more important than the regular season. And when you're drafting, you're obviously assuming that every pick you make is correct. So if I'm drafting James Conner as my RB2, I'm expecting him to, be in my lineup a good amount of the time, even if that's getting me like 13, 14 points. And the Cowboys and the Cardinals play in the underdog playoffs. So I get a correlation right there with James Conner. If the Cardinals get out to a big lead, Dak Prescott's usually probably snapping. So pretty simple concept that I feel like not a lot of people are using. Right here, I'm just gonna go best player available in my opinion, which is Devontae Parker. Because this is kind of the range where you can go in any direction you want. Could have went Logan Thomas, but I'm kind of off of him. Could have went Hardman, but I don't have Mahomes. I would have went Hardman if I had Mahomes. Fine with that. Russell Gage, no. Corey Davis, whatever. AJ Dillon, I mean, could have went with Dillon, but
if this guy snipes me with a running back 8, I'm gonna be tight. Thank God.
Okay, so he's drafting 2 tight ends, 7 running backs, 1 wide receiver.
Jesus.
He might as well have just PayPal'd me the $5.
Honestly, at least you would have used it for good.
Right. Right, dude. Like, what the fuck?
But I mean, I'm super happy with Kenyon Drake as an RB3. He's just been getting a lot of usage in the past game at Raiders camp. So half PPR, I know it may not be quite as valuable, but he should still get touches too. And God, if Josh Jacobs ever goes down to the moon.
Yeah. I like Kenyon Drake a lot. And it's just like in this range, you're just taking those players where, they're probably handcuffs, but if their starter goes down, and we know that running backs get hurt, at a higher rate than any other position, you're going to be sitting pretty with their backup. But
What are you looking to do with your squad from this point? For me, I need to start hammering wide receiver.
for me specifically, I would like to get kind of like a nice RB3 here. There's not too many left. I wanted Henderson, but he went above ADP a little bit. You took Kenya Drake. I mean, there's not much on the board right now at running back. It's gonna get grim here, so I think I'm gonna hammer a couple running backs with my next couple of picks, and just try and solidify at least three potential running back starters. But I'm also fine with kind of just going out of a draft with four running backs. That's something that I'm starting to come around to. Even though like the hyper fragile build specifically means that you take, three running backs early is how I would probably view it. Or too early, like one mid and one in like the 11th or 10th round. Would be considered hyper fragile. I'm fine with just going with four, and just focusing on wide receivers, because wide receivers are going to score more points than your running backs.
Yeah. I was really hoping to get Bateman here. He goes a couple picks ahead. Just looking at my team specifically, the Ravens face both the Rams and Packers in the playoffs, so that would have been a nice comeback piece for the two stacks that I've already got. But alas, I have to go with a different wide receiver 5 in this spot, and I'll just go with the best value, and that's Henry Ruggs, a couple picks after ADP. I like Ruggs as a wide receiver 5 with potential to be the Raiders wide receiver 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's kind of like a boom or bust option personally, but if he booms, you're going to be, thankful that you got him in the 11th round, because, people compared him to Tyreek Hill. So if those comparisons even 90% come true, you're pretty.
I'll take 70% Tyreek and
David Johnson
11.
is his RB8. Got it. I don't know what this guy is doing, but he is specifically the reason why the running backs are so grim right now.
Kind of a scumbag, honestly.
I have to go with Latavius or Hines here. I have to. I'm just higher on Hines. I just think that he's going to have a role, even with Taylor there.
Even with Mac returning?
Even with Mac returning. I think Hines has a specific role on the offense that he is not going to lose to anybody. Mm-hmm. So as long as he's out on the field, potentially getting targets and touches, I'm fine with taking him as my RB3, RB4. I know that Latavius can be a league winner if Kamara goes down, and I'll probably draft him if he falls here, which he doesn't, which is unfortunate because this guy takes his 6th running back. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what these people are doing, first of all. This dude has 8 running backs. This dude has 6. We're only in the 12th round. So we've got some dead teams already, which is kind of what I wanted to talk about before. Gerald Everett goes in the 12th round, which is whatever. Right here, I'm probably going to take Madison if this guy doesn't take him, but I can't predict what these dudes are going to do. So,
yeah, God. And just going back to your point about Naheem Hines, I know that I think people sort of view him as the guy who's just like maybe a floor play is going to get those receptions for your floor, but he had 3 20-point games last year, including a 27 and a 28. So, this is a guy with straight up week winning potential as well as a relatively high floor.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, I definitely agree. And here I have to take Madison, and that's just a factor of the draft that we're in. I'm taking him above his ADP, but with people drafting 8, 7 running backs, I have to secure him as my RB4. I took him 12 picks above ADP, which is fine, but you have to adapt to the draft that you're in. And in this draft, we have people that don't care about money. So it is what it is.
At this point, I really hope this guy takes an RB9, but I feel like he's about to get auto drafted and take my favorite player in the NFL right here, and I might cry.
It's looking like an auto draft. It is definitely looking like
Fuck this guy, dude. Fuck this guy. Come on, bro.
definitely looking like an auto draft.
What are we doing? Can't believe he took Gabriel Davis, man. All right.
Hey, when you gotta have Gabe Davis as your wide receiver too, I think he's way higher on him than you are.
Apparently. Apparently. I'll go with Rieger here. Just, stacking up these year 2 wide receivers, hoping that some of them pan out with Ruggs, Rieger. God.
How tilted are you?
I'm highly tilted. I had one player in my queue. Of course, this guy decides to make a good pick finally.
Finally. All right. Shit. That was funny. That was funny. Getting towards the end of the draft, this has been an interesting draft to say the least.
Yeah.
These people are terrible. Just absolutely terrible.
Seeing some wild stuff go down, man.
God.
I mean, the guy who took Lamar Jackson has 3 quarterbacks and 3 wide receivers 12 rounds in.
They obviously don't have Twitter or research anything if you're coming out of round 12 with 3 wide receivers, because your team is dead if you do that.
Yeah.
I think by round 12 you should be at 6.
Yep, that's what you've got, right? I think that's what I've got as well. Yep.
Through 12 rounds, half of your picks should be wide receivers because you're starting the most of them,
and they have the highest ceilings.
Yep. So
it's pretty simple.
Pretty simple concept that some people don't care about, I guess. This dude has 3 tight ends: Goddard, Irv Smith, Evan Ingram.
He's probably gonna just go around take Jonnu here just to spite me.
Matt Ryan as his QB2.
Solid. Gronk at 13. I'd be ecstatic if I could land Jonnu here as my tight end 2 to go with Kyle Pitts. Don't know if it's gonna happen. This guy right here only has 1 tight end. Bruh.
Got to make a compilation of you calling out players that you want and getting sniped.
This draft is just pure pain. This draft is just pure pain.
Damn, Hunter Henry went at 13.1. I was going to say,
crazy.
Hunter Henry is probably the most mispriced player right now at tight end.
His ADP on Underdog is 161.
That's stupid.
Insane. Yeah, absolutely insane.
He's the biggest mispriced tight end on Underdog, period. He's going to be my highest. He's going to be my highest owned tight end on this platform for sure.
Yeah.
Like, just grossly mispriced.
Grossly. I mean, it's true.
Let's see what this fellow does. Let's see what he does. Auto draft, T.Y. Hilton. Got it.
I wonder if he plans to draft any quarterbacks or he just doesn't need them.
I mean, right here, easy pick. I have 2 Dolphins wide receivers.
Love that.
And I'm getting him, 12 picks past ADP, full round. Take it.
And at that, I mean, it looks like both of us are going to be in the same spot where we're only going with 2 quarterbacks and 2 tight ends, correct?
Yes, for sure.
Yep. I mean, I'd be in your position. I like your team more than mine, to be honest. I mean, if I'm leaving a team with, Dak and Tua as my 2 quarterbacks and they're both stacks, like, God, good place to be in.
Honestly, I'm starting to come around to Devontae Parker also being mispriced too.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense.
I've seen like so many charts like of receivers versus like man coverage, like their yards per route run, and just wide receiver charts where Devontae Parker's up there with the elites, and he's just always underlooked, and he's been a solid wide receiver in the NFL. Like, he is a very good wide receiver. Maybe people are down on him because Tua's a quarterback, but I don't care. Right here, these people all in front of me, or these people have, or this guy has 2 tight ends. These dudes both have 1. If Blake Jarwin falls, that would be fantastic. That would be that'll be my pick if he falls. But we'll have to see. If not, I'm gonna go with Cole Kmet.
Yeah, I'm looking at tight end too, and there are 3 guys I'm really interested in. The 2 that you mentioned in Ferkser to pair as my final tight end. So we'll see if it's possible here.
Crowder goes. Just one of these 2 guys has to fall. That's all I'm asking for, and then I will be a happy camper. Happy camper over here.
I mean, I don't even.
Okay, fuck you. That's one of 2.
Here goes.
But these. He needs a wide receiver. He has 4 in the 14th round, so he shouldn't. He shouldn't take a tight end, and I'm taking Cole Kmet over Ferkser personally. Well, no, it's close. It's close. I wouldn't say it's the definitive Kmet over Ferkser, but I do like Kmet a little bit better. So, easy pick.
Let's see if this gentleman opts to take his QB1 in round 14 or not. I think that what he could use here is an RB9, but I don't know.
I mean, he doesn't have a quarterback. He doesn't have a wide receiver 4, and we're in the 14th round.
GG.
He has 4 more picks after this pick. Let's see what he does. An auto draft. Baker? Yep. Auto drafted Baker.
Solid.
So I feel like he's picking some teams, but getting auto drafted others.
I mean, at this point,
Or not teams, some players. He's picking some and getting auto drafted some.
I mean, at this point, if I like got auto drafted to that point and I come back to my screen and I see this is my team, I'm just closing the window out. Like, I don't care. I'm not going to be picking these players anymore. That's $5 gone. I'm not wasting my time.
Right. I mean, well, this draft is coming along, man. I really fuck with my team. This is a very solid team that I'm building over here. Just gonna fill out the rest of my roster with some wide receivers and running backs. So, see what happens.
I'm in the same boat as you, sir. Although I do like your team.
No cap. I'd be fine with leaving this draft with these 4 running backs at this point. I'm just fine with that at this point in best ball. I mean, running backs are fuck running backs, you know. Like we don't need them. 0 RB.
That's a fact. Stone fact. I mean, that's what wins tourneys.
Yeah, this isn't a 0 RB team, but what is this, like a robust RB or whatever?
Nah, I mean, it's modified 0 RB.
Modified 0 RB.
The other one I've been hearing that I actually like more than modified is anchor running back, where you have either 1 or 2 in the first 2, and then you fade until rounds 9 or whatever. I think that makes a lot of sense, because it makes more sense than modified 0, which is just like a complete oxymoron. But anchor, I like that. I like that term. Should popularize it.
Yeah. I do like that term a lot. Isn't it Hero RB the same?
Yeah.
Too?
Yep. Hero RB. I like that as well. I don't know what I'm gonna do here.
I need a RB5.
Wide receivers really starting to dry up. I need an RB4. I might have to go with. Well, I was about to say James White, then I realized he just got taken. That's unfortunate. Well, I'm gonna go back to what we were talking about earlier with the correlation. Go with Sammy Watkins here. Basically, 1 pick before ADP, but essentially at ADP, and it just correlates well with this roster. He could be the bring back against a Ram stack or a Packer stacks in either of weeks 15 or 17 when those 2 teams play the Ravens. So I'll take that as a wide receiver 8. He's reportedly been standing out at Ravens camp.
I like that. I like that for sure. Here, I could go with a running back here, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to go with my guy Jacoby.
Mm.
Just think in the 15th round, if I'm getting a player that's going to be on the field, 90+% of snaps, and if Mac Jones comes in as a starter, I love Jacoby Myers this year. So give me Jacoby, my boy, and yeah.
We
Even
did
though
miss a comment here in the
yeah,
Ty low on the list. Yeah,
it's
I mean, I don't think either of us are too bullish on Ty at this point.
nah, hell
Man's
nah,
man's old as dirt.
old as dirt. I got my next couple picks planned out.
Yeah.
So right here at the 16th round, I'm gonna get my wide receiver 8 because, I mean, the running backs it's whatever. Like none of these guys are gonna make my lineup. So if I want an RB5, I could just wait. Which I'll probably just end up drafting an RB5 in the 18th round. So right here, I have a couple different directions I can go. I can go AJ Green to get that correlation with Dallas, like I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can go with Denzel Mims to get the correlation with the Miami stack and
Mm-hmm.
bet on talent. So there's a couple directions I could go at this point. And the Jets and Dolphins play in the first week of the playoffs, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
I take Denzel Mims right here, that gives them 14 weeks to try and regain the confidence of the coaching staff, get on the field. Second round rookie last year, loads of talent, makes all of the sense with this team specifically. If Tua and Devontae Parker and Will Fuller are hitting their ceilings, that means the Jets are probably losing, throwing a ton. Denzel Mims on the field, catching a jump ball in week
Mm-hmm.
15. So I kind of just talked myself into Mims.
I like it. I like it. Good
But
reasoning
that
behind that
but
pick.
that's the level of thought that you have to go into with these late round picks. At least maybe not that deep because that's kind of like galaxy brain, but
Right.
at least look at the schedule. Like I have the Dolphins and Cowboys schedule up right here, and so I could see that the Cowboys play the Giants, Washington, and Arizona. I could see that they play those teams in the playoffs, so I can draft players from those teams, and I could see that the Dolphins play the Jets, Saints, and Titans. So it makes all the sense to at least have it up and use it somewhat. So
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And this team that I'm drafting here, it's a bit fragile, but it's basically completely based off the assumption that Packers are going to be getting Aaron Rodgers back because I've got the double stack with Adams and MVS. If it ends up being Jordan Love, this could be a tough scene in this team.
and that's also something that I've been thinking about as well on 3 quarterback builds is taking shots on Jordan Love, taking a
Yeah.
shot on Mac Jones,
Mm-hmm.
especially in a $5 contest. Because like we've talked about before, at the end of the day, it's $5. Like you can go out and make $5 a million different ways.
Right.
Um,
You could.
so
I mean, me personally, I'm spending that on like 4 or 5 Butterfingers at the store later tonight.
yeah, I mean that's the worst possible way to spend $5. But yeah, so I mean it is only $5. So just take the shots on those rookie quarterbacks that aren't going to be drafted in every league. Like obviously Tyreek Hill is going to have 100% ownership,
Mm-hmm.
and Pat Mahomes, DJ Moore, whatever. Obviously the top guys are because they're getting drafted. If you can get Mac Jones at 50% ownership or 45% or Jordan Love at 10% ownership, and you hit that 99th percentile outcome where he comes in and he does start, he is going to give you an edge over your opponents. that don't have him, and especially if he ends up starting and snaps in a playoff game, and you're just sailing to the money. So
Hmm.
that's a thought that I've been coming around to too. Is just here and there sprinkling in the Jordan Love, the Mac Jones, Davis Mills. As ugly as it sounds, I mean, do we really think Tyrod is going to be the guy for 17 weeks in Houston? Probably not. And Houston
Definitely
has a
not.
good matchup in every single playoff week this year. Every single playoff week, Houston Texans have a great matchup. Fact. They are in all 3 weeks of my favorite stacks that I put out on Twitter, the thread.
Interesting. Yeah, they've got Jacksonville, and then they've got a home game against the Chargers, and then they play the 49ers. Yeah, that's
Well, the 49ers is a tough game for the Texans. But it wouldn't be a tough game if Watson was there, but that's neither here nor there. But they'll be losing in all those games, and we like those other offenses a lot.
right.
So, if you're sprinkling in those offenses, to try and target some of the Texans players, preferably Nico Collins because he's free. But yeah, that's just something to think about, just with the rookie quarterbacks. So I have not an underdog on drafters, which is probably a worse site to draft them on. But I took Davis Mills in the draft. I took Mac Jones. Think it just makes think it just makes a lot of sense, honestly.
Big Demarcus Robinson guy.
Here I'm gonna let's see. I mean, this is easy. Correlation again. Dallas and New York play the first playoff week. Oops. Dallas and the Giants play the first week of the underdog playoffs. So,
And you just
they,
got one of the most underrated talents in the league right there.
yeah, right. So, fill out my wide receivers. Got a couple of those guys, couple of guys that I like. 9 of them to be specific. So, gonna go with a 2-5-9-2 build here. I'm gonna get my RB5. Out of these guys, who's your favorite target? You got 5 running backs, right? You're not gonna draft one.
No, I have
Oh,
four,
you
and I
got
am going to
four.
draft one, so I'm definitely not telling you. But I'll let you know soon. I mean, I'll be honest. No, I'll just say it. There's a couple guys that I like here. I think that both of the Dolphins running backs are viable. I don't know which one I like more between Salvin Ahmed, who I think is probably better, but reports are that Malcolm Brown is going to be the goal line back. So I think that he's interesting. I also like Devontae Booker, although he's not in play for me because I have Saquon Barkley, so I'm not going to be handcuffing. And then the other two that I like are the two Chargers backs. I don't know which one it's going to be between Joshua Kelly or Justin Jackson, but I think that one of those guys will absolutely have a role, and it's going to be a valuable role alongside Austin Eckler. I've been leaning Justin Jackson because I think he's the better pass catcher, but they did invest a fourth-round pick in Kelly last year, and with Kalen Ballage gone, he could definitely see some work at the goal line.
Yeah, and there has been reports saying that Justin Jackson is on the roster bubble too.
Mm.
And Joshua Kelly is pretty safe, I think. So right here, I mean, I wasn't gonna draft any of those guys to be honest. I'm just looking at who can come in and be productive if the starter goes down, and I think that's a proven running back in the NFL. Damian Williams is my
Mm.
RB5. Obviously, probably not going to make my lineup ever, but if David Montgomery goes down, Damian Williams is the guy with Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen's not going to assume the 15 touches on the ground that David Montgomery would leave behind. So give me Damian as my RB5, and I feel like I smashed this draft.
Yep. No, you definitely did, and God, Vontae Booker. Booker would be the pick I'd make here if I didn't have Saquon. Malcolm Brown can't do that. You know, we get Joshua Kelly. Didn't show too much as a rookie, but he could You know, he could, especially if Justin Jackson gets cut. They really have nothing else there besides Eckler. We saw even a complete trash can of a running back in Kalen Ballage be productive in fantasy for a stretch last year.
Yep. So, I mean, yeah, I would probably take Joshua Kelly over Justin Jackson for sure. He's going to get touches. I feel like they are going to use more than one running back in that Chargers offense, even with a head coaching change, though. That committee was with Anthony Lynn, who is in Detroit now. So, end of the draft here, Ramondre Stevenson goes. Like him, but as a Patriots fan, I could tell you right now that he's not going to play at all, like ever, unless there's an injury. Because they did the same thing with Damian Harris. It's kind of just like a look towards the future type of thing, and they're gonna send him. This guy has 5 quarterbacks, so GG for him.
Yeah,
I don't know what are these people doing.
I mean, I was just looking through at least minimum 2 of these teams are already dead. This team 20%. Here, Rodriguez with 5 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 6 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. And then the guy who was sandwiched between us who went with 1 quarterback, Baker Mayfield, 8 running backs, 6 receivers, and 3 tight ends. The old 1-8. What do you even call that build, dude? That's a wild build.
The shit just ended. Build.
Did we lose the draft board?
I think we lost the draft board, dude.
We can at least pull up our 2 teams.
Yeah.
Underdogs, they've got the money, right? They've got the good format. They've got the draft room. They just got to work out a few of these kinks. They got to let us get back in these drafts so we can look at the draft boards. And they got to get the clock fixed.
I thought you can look at it on your phone, though. That's what's weird is if I go on my phone right now, I can look at the draft board. Which we need to do, but usually it would just leave it up. Like I didn't exit anything out; it just went back to the screen after the draft was done, and we can't get back in for whatever reason. So that's unfortunate. Let me zoom in a little bit though. Okay. So right here, my team is right here on the right side of the screen for everybody watching. Dak Prescott stacked them with CeeDee Lamb, so just a little skinny stack with those 2. Tua stacked him with Devontae and Will Fuller. Antonio Gibson as kind of like my anchor RB, and then a bunch of guys in the later rounds, like 10th round plus, and James Conner, Hines, Madison. Madison is a guy that can be a league winner if Cook goes down with an injury. James Conner is going to have a role. Hines is going to have a role. So those will fill in my RB2 spots. And then just a crazy wide receiver core, in my opinion. And then Mark Andrews and Cole Kmet. So get that elite tight end and get young, high upside tight end. I really like this team. I think this team has a very good chance to make it out of the regular season. So. Yeah,
absolutely. You definitely crushed this draft. I love everything about it. I mean, almost all your picks are values too, minus some of the running backs. But we talked about in the draft, that's contextualized by the fact that, one dude was drafting 8 running backs by the freaking 10th round. So that's going to happen. But that's just not getting married to a certain strategy and adapting to the draft as you are able to, which I think you should.
Yeah. Because if running backs are flying off the board like that, I mean, you're gonna have to reach a little bit, because you'll lose out on some guys that you might want. So Hines and Madison, I had to reach half a round, full round on Madison in terms of ADP, but in terms of the draft, you got a guy drafting 8 running backs, another guy drafted 7, I think. What are you gonna do?
And it just goes to the tiers discussion that we've been having on the YouTube channel lately and in the podcast feed. It's it's going to be still grasping within the same tiers because with these running backs going earlier, it's just pushing the other positions down. So you're just still getting the same players in the same tiers. You're just doing it at different points. So, I think that's super solid. My team, not too crazy about it, to be honest with you. But I mean, I guess it has potential. It's just a little thin. We've got a double stack with Stafford, or a single stack with Stafford and Woods, a double stack with Rodgers, to Adams and MVS. Hopefully, got Sammy Watkins on the bring back, who plays both of those teams in the Underdog playoffs. I like that. Got Kyle Pitts at a great value in the 5th round as my tight end one of the few shares I've gotten of Pitts post NFL draft. Had some early, but haven't been able to bite the bullet on him in the 3rd, 4th round. But if he falls 11, basically a full round after, I'll take it. And you and I, we've been talking about it on the podcast, on the YouTube channel. Roster construction is the key. We've been learning a lot about it lately from some of the interviews we've done, and I don't think it's surprising that we both come out with a similar construction.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Because you took Saquon with your first pick and then waited 5 rounds to take your RB2, and then a significant wait after that, which I think is right, because most weeks you're only going to start 2 running backs, and Kareem Hunt is a solid floor guy, I think, due to his reception ability, and he does have that upside because he is a very talented running back. Obviously, he's splitting touches, but he gives you some security in your RB2. Kenyon Drake is a potential league winner if Josh Jacobs goes down, but he's still going to have a role in the offense. You don't go out and sign a running back for $10 million and not play him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who you are. So he's going to play no matter what. Darrell, Joshua Kelly, just some backup running backs where, they're most likely never going to make your lineup, but all it takes is an injury. With Joshua Kelly, he's on the field. Darrell Williams might have a small role in one of the best offenses. So like the running backs, and the team's not bad. It's just you're kind of mishap with Stafford.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have taken him. Right
Yeah,
here, obviously.
it was an auto. I mean,
Yeah.
but I messed up on my cue there.
14 picks, 15 picks above ADP. Not great. Not great.
Not optimal.
Probably would have. If you didn't get autoed, it would have been a wide receiver. It should have been a wide receiver.
It would have been. Yeah.
But let's take a look at some of these other teams. 5 quarterbacks, 4 running backs, 7 wide receivers, 2 tight ends from Rodriguez. Yeah, your team's dead, my guy. 3, 5, 7, 3. It's whatever. I mean,
did he stack Allen here?
Nah. Didn't stock Josh Allen. I don't think he stacked Matt Ryan either, or Taysom Hill, which is tough.
I mean, Hill, I don't think you necessarily need to
you don't-
stack because if he's hitting, it's probably off the rushing efficiency. He's not throwing 4,000, 5,000 yards. He might not throw 3,500 yards.
I mean, instead of Hill, he should have took a wide receiver 100%. You don't need 3 quarterbacks with Josh Allen and Matt Ryan. Like, that's a great floor combo duo of quarterbacks, I would say. Tight ends, I mean, if you're drafting Goddard and Irv Smith, I don't think you need 3, but so some people like 3 tight ends. 3, 6, 7, 2. Think this is it. It's not bad.
It's not bad. I personally don't really like the running backs that much, like Hubbard and Ramondre Stevenson, but
I mean, these running backs are ass. But
yeah, but he could get through with Kamara if Kamara smashes, and then you got Cohen and White with the safety, and then Dylan's kind of like that same mold as like your pick with Alexander Madison, where it's like he's probably not going to be smashing, but Aaron Jones goes down and you're sailing.
Yeah. Potential league winner would probably be the name of that tier with Dylan, Madison, Pollard, Henderson would be the 4 guys. Maybe Latavius too are the 5 guys in the tier of league winners if injuries happen. This dude's solid. Hitman 22. I wonder if that's actually him. Might be.
Could be.
From the fantasy footballers. Shout out to them. I think it is actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the team looks pretty solid, so I would think so.
I think this is Hitman from the fantasy footballers. Shout out to him, but you're not making it out, buddy, because I'm securing at least one of the spot. I know that. 3, 5, 7, 3. Where's this dude that? Oh, this guy. Oh wait, no.
No, it was right
Oh
above your name.
yeah, it was right here. What a team! What a team!
Hey, he might be putting up the best running back numbers in this league.
Swear to God, you could only start 3, so
He better hope Baker Mayfield bounces back, boy. He needs Baker Mayfield to drop 35 plus a week and play on his bye week.
gets traded before his bye.
Yep.
That it could work out. The Browns
crazy.
The Browns can trade Baker to a team that's already had their bye before the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
Baker Mayfield plays 18 games. Or no, it'd be 18. Plays 18 games, finishes the QB1 overall.
That's kind of what he needs to happen. This team is
That's
dog
some
water.
galaxy brain shit. So, by my count, that's what 2 teams automatically done because of roster construction, and I would include some other guys in there too. I mean, this could be dead. You know, if you lose that week of quarterback production, which is something that happened in my last draft where I drafted Trey Lance and Matt Ryan, who have the same bye week, and then I had to take Cam Newton as my QB3. But the Falcons and Niners have a bye in week 6, so I'm expecting Cam Newton to be the starter by then, so it should work out. But if you lose a week of quarterback points, you could be dead, honestly.
Yeah. Like I understand. Like I've seen it. I've seen the theory of people talking about, drafting one quarterback or doing something like that with Wilson and, just waiting until the very, very end and getting a guy who may not be a 16-week starter. But it just seems like a huge risk to me because you're like, yeah, it makes sense that you could still have a decent year, but you can't finish 4th. Like you could finish 4th doing that, missing that week, but you're not going to finish 1st or 2nd.
Yeah. Definitely agree. I mean,
Team seems all right. Who are the tight ends?
this team's dead. I don't care that you have Mahomes.
Yes, that's rough.
I mean, that's a terrible team. I'm not gonna lie.
Got to get as many Lions receivers as possible.
This would be way better if
we could just look at the draft board.
If we could just look at the draft board, but this guy took 5 quarterbacks. We already went over his team. That's horrible. But yeah, like 2, 3, maybe even 4 of these teams are automatically dead just due to roster constructions. That just shows you the edge in this tournament right now.
Yeah, and man, I'm going to be just shooting entries into this thing because I think it fills within 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. Nah, probably a little bit longer. How about there's 56,000 entrants? Yeah, it'll probably fill in a month. It'll probably run for a month total, and then they'll probably.
It's 3% full in like 6 hours.
Hey, it is what it is, but
yeah, people got off today.
Unfortunate that we couldn't look at the draft board, but all in all, solid draft.
Yep. Shout out to Underdog for putting up the puppy. I like this format.
Yep. Great tournament.
I guess that's going to be it for this stream, man. We'll be back next Monday with another. And, make sure you check out the podcast coming out this Thursday. YouTube videos coming out as well. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel if you're watching this on YouTube right now. Drop that like on this. We appreciate it. Almost to 200 subs. Help us hit that benchmark. And like Joey said, we're going to be doing a giveaway when we hit 1,000 followers on Twitter. So, if you aren't already, hit us up at the DFS Dose on Twitter. And you can join our Discord as well to be part of the community. Get a heads up when we're going live and just chat basketball with us. We're in that joint all the time.
Yep. Deuces.
Have a good week.